Hey guys, literally recording this like the second after I finished recording the film. I literally turned off the camera and turned it back on, and this is the review to Grave of the Fireflies, the August 2020 anime movie poll winner over on Patreon. If you want to be part of the current polls going on in the month of August that will decide the movies that I react to in September, you can go over to Patreon and pledge $1 or more and get access to those polls. Links down below in the description to all that shit. Anyways, this movie was incredible. This movie was very much the type of film that I enjoy quite a bit. You know, it was a war tale about civilian life in Japan in the closing stages of the war in 1945. The war is in the Second World War, and it was insane. This movie was fucking insane. This movie is the type of movie that I said this at the end of my reaction, so I literally just said this, so I'm repeating myself a bit in this review, and I probably will a lot, but I feel like this is the type of movie that everyone should watch. I think more than any other anime film I've ever seen, this is a movie that everyone should watch, anime fan or not. It's the type of film that has so much meaning, and I feel like would touch so many people, and I feel like it's a story that just hits home in so many ways, and it deserves to be watched by as many people as possible. And it's just one of those war movies that I feel like everyone should watch to have a greater understanding of just how fucked war is, and especially, of course, the Second World War was. And, you know, I love the civilian perspective war movies. Like I said, there aren't a lot of them. Last year we got Jojo Rabbit, which was an incredible civilian perspective war movie from a German city at the tail end of the European campaign. And this was a kind of, a more serious overall take, but it was the end of the Pacific War of World War II from the Japanese civilian perspective, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And I think the way that they portrayed what life was like near the end of World War II for the Japanese people was absolutely fantastic. Obviously, of course, this is a Japanese film. You know, being an anime movie, it's a Japanese film, so you get that that perspective from their perspective on the war, and that I think makes it even more powerful because it's Japanese people who were behind this film. And I think that just makes it even better. And it just adds that extra level, that raw intensity of, again, this movie came out in 1988. So, this movie, they were working on this movie around probably 40 years after 1945, where it takes place. So obviously a ton of people were still alive back then when they were making this film, that who had lived through the Second World War, and they have so many experiences. And I imagine that there's a lot of true stories that were at least inspired this movie to some extent, if it's not outright inspired by a true story. And it's just absolutely fantastic. I think this film just hits so many notes so perfectly about the tragedies and horrors of war, and the fact that war, affects so many more people than you realize. And, a war on this scale, it's not just affecting the soldiers that are forced or chose to fight, but so many civilians who get caught up in the crosshairs between the bombings. And, in the case of the European theater, you kind of have, obviously, France, Belgium, Germany, Poland, like a Soviet Union. There were so many countries that just got fucked, and their civilians just got fucked because of the war, and it was horrible. And then, as far as from physical people, and from starvation and rapes and raids and stuff, that wasn't so much a problem with the Japanese. What happened with the Japanese was the bombings, which is the same thing. The UK dealt with it to an extent over London and stuff, as well as the coast and RAF, bases and all that. In England, when the Germans were bombing the UK, but it also, with the Japanese, obviously the Americans were bombing Japan, firebombing their wooden cities, and just doing all that stuff. And then, of course, obviously, the nuclear attacks on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were the big, kind of exclamation point on just an absolutely horrific time in human history from from 39 to 45, and even things leading up to it that were not good either. But yeah, it's just, this movie portrayed the human condition and the human struggle so well, and we got to see a brother and a sister and their struggles on the civilian side of life in Japan at the end of World War II, and all the things that they went through. And by the time the movie had ended, I was pretty fucking close to crying. I still kind of am, because I recorded this right after. I'm kind of surprised that I didn't cry, but holy shit, did this movie hit me hard. And I kind of knew right from the start, like really early on, you kind of get a good idea of what this movie's about. And once you know where this movie is generally going, you know that this is going to be a very fucked up experience. And I knew I was going to love this movie from really early on, but I knew that it wasn't going to portray in the way a lot of my reactions might, where I'm just like, really getting pumped or whatever. I think I had a more solemn tone for a lot of this, and it was just brutal. I think this was, but despite that, as far as just, the messages, the symbolism, the beauty of the shots, the heart-wrenching writing and character moments and all of that, I mean, this was probably one of the best movies I've seen in a really long time, probably ever, honestly. It was an incredible film. Shout outs to everyone who worked on this. This was absolutely amazing, and I think it told a lot about what it means to be human in so many ways. So that's what I got to say about the film. Links are down below in the description, obviously. If you haven't checked already, we should have a Breach TV and Megalink in all likelihood. Who knows if there's something else, but there'll definitely be those. And yeah, I'm really excited. So the My Hero Academia video is completely ready. I mean, it was actually supposed to go up yesterday, but I had issues uploading it. But now it's completely uploaded, completely ready on both Mega and Breach. The Ben 10 video is completely ready and uploaded on both Mega and Breach. So the next two videos after this are completely ready. The only thing I need to do is just record the review for My Hero Academia. I've actually already recorded the review for Ben 10, so I just need to get the My Hero review done, which I will do sometime tomorrow, or today for you guys. I'll be recording the My Hero review and also watching some more Kill la Kill, which will be really exciting. But yeah, what a movie. The Studio Ghibli logo came up, and I'm going to actually check this out, because obviously now I can look this movie up without worrying about spoilers or anything. So let me look up this film, because I didn't know this was, no, not Studio Ghibli. I didn't know this movie was a Ghibli movie, or if like maybe Ghibli was involved in like in a less direct capacity. I'm not sure what the deal was. I mean, it was not a Miyazaki film. Okay, it says it's a Japanese animated war tragedy film based on the 1967 semi-autobiographical short story of the same name by Akiyuki Nosaka. So it was partially based on a real story called Grave of the Fireflies. So yeah, the production company was Studio Ghibli. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so it was produced for a different company by Ghibli, and obviously it also wasn't a Hayao Miyazaki film, which is very interesting, but it was a absolutely stunning, just brutal film. And oh, they were from, oh, okay, I just saw that they were up on yeah, and the way that the movie started too, I should actually talk about that, because fucking the boy fucking died too. Like everyone, like what the, this movie is so sus. Because I mean, the first scene is kind of like the real last scene, and it's just, this movie is so tragic. Saita and Setsuko and all of them, it's just absolutely brutal. And it appears this is actually based on actual events, which I'm not surprised by. Crazy shit. That's the thing. Usually I do these reviews a little after. I'm doing this review immediately after watching the film. And I'm doing a little research here, and it's some sauce. Yeah, the napalm, yeah. Fucking crazy shit. What a movie. Wow. What a movie. So I think this was one of my favorite movies of all time. As far as anime films, it's probably this or Your Name. Incredible. Incredible. Anyways, I don't want this to go on forever. I could honestly talk about this movie for another half hour if I really wanted to, but I'm going to cut it off here. So anyways, Flamin' Shark signing out. Hope you guys have a wonderful, fantastical day. I will see you next time with another video. Thanks for watching. Peace.